Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Hassan Salim and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant of Canada, and I do practice here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. As you saw in the thumbnail, we will be talking about exactly what it says. We will be discussing the parents and grandparents sponsorship program and compare it with the SuperVisa application process. Now, I know a lot of you out there are really confused in which stream you should be applying, how different is one from the other, and how to go about the whole process. So in this video, I'll make it easier for you to understand, and we will go in detail for 6 things. And starting off with the eligibility criteria for parent sponsorship program and SuperVisa, the income requirements for both the programs, and then we will be discussing the application process, the end status that is granted to your parents, the wait times, and last but not the least, the fee associated with applying to these programs. So if you're interested to find out more about this program or this comparison of these two amazing programs, watch this video till the very end so I can break it down for you and make it easier for you to decide which application stream you should be applying for and how to apply, and what are the main differences between these two most popular programs out there. And watch this video till the very end. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, subscribe now so you don't miss out on the content like this. And also follow me on Instagram and Facebook so you don't miss on the posts that I share with all of you and keep you updated with the Canadian immigration. So watch you on the other side. Welcome back. As I said in the intro of this video, we will be discussing the comparison between the SuperVisa and PGP applications. But you might be wondering, Hassan, are these the only two ways to get your parents here in Canada? Well, there is a third way as well, which is called the visitor visa. Now, if your parents intend to be in Canada for 6 months or less, visit visa is a great option out there. But if you are hoping for your parents to come here in Canada for a longer period of time, then obviously the two bigger options, or the two options, are the PGP application and the SuperVisa application. But again, both of them are different. Both of them have different criteria in order to apply for each of those categories. So that's why we will be breaking it down. And the first thing I want to discuss on this video today is the eligibility criteria. So SuperVisa eligibility, and then we will discuss the eligibility for PGP. So first of all, SuperVisa, your parents or grandparents basically become eligible to apply for SuperVisa if they have a host that is their child or grandchild in Canada, maybe a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen, must be over 18 years of age, and must have enough income to invite the parents or grandparents here in Canada. And because you have to support them financially, you have to make a promise, you have to write a letter of invitation why your parents or grandparents should be here and how long they plan to stay here in Canada. Now, when it comes to the time, just like I mentioned for the visit visas, they can only stay for a maximum of 6 months. For SuperVisa, they have changed the timeline quite some time, and for now they can stay here in Canada for a maximum of 5 years with the multiple entry visa, and the visa validity is usually 10 years or the time of the passport expiry. Now, one of the most important factors when it comes to the eligibility of SuperVisa when you are applying for your parents or grandparents is how much you make. So the gross income is definitely, that's something you have to look for when you're applying for your parents. That is your family size. Now, family size includes you, the people you're inviting, and your own family members. So if me and my wife are inviting our parents, so it would be 4 family size. So me, my wife, my father, and my mother. And if we have a kid, so the family size becomes 5. And for those of you who are single and inviting your dad or mom or both of them together, obviously the family size would be as the number of people you are. So for example, you yourself, your father, your mother, so that makes it the family size of 3. Now, when it comes to the income requirement, I'm sharing it on the screen with you. So just like I gave you the example of myself, so me, my wife, my small kid, and we are inviting our parents, so that makes the family size 5. So I must have a minimum necessary income that is 61,920 for the previous year. Now, if it's more, obviously it's better, but if it's less, that makes it really tough for you to qualify or to be eligible for this program in order to apply for your parents and grandparents for the SuperVisa. Another important factor that comes in the SuperVisa is the health insurance. Now, there is also a requirement for the health insurance in the SuperVisa program, and for that, you have to talk to an insurance company so they can cover you. I'm giving you the details right here on the screen. It needs to be paid in full or in installments with a deposit. Quotes are not accepted. It should cover healthcare, hospitalization, and it should provide a minimum of 100,000 of emergency coverage. There are different kind of companies out there that provide insurance. I don't want to name drop any, but the bigger ones I know of are Manulife, Sun Life, and there are a lot of local insurances as well. Just be careful of what insurance you select. Maybe get the quotes from different companies while doing that, so you select the best option for your parents. So this is basically the eligibility criteria for the SuperVisa process. Now we will talk about this eligibility for PGP. Right, so the criteria for PGP application, some of that resembles a lot with the SuperVisa criteria. That is, if you are inviter for your parents or grandparents, you should be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. You should be over 18 years of age. And again, the income requirement is one of the biggest factors. Now, with the SuperVisa application, you were just looking at the gross income for the previous year, and you were calculating the family size, whereas PGP application, you have to look for the income for last 3 years. So if 2025, you are applying for your parents, according to the criteria right now, things can change drastically as they are changing, as you all know. But for now, the criteria is they look for the last 3 years. That is, if you're applying in 2025, as I said, they would be looking at the income for 2024, 2023, and 2022. Again, the family size matters. That is like you, your spouse, your dependent kids, and the people you are inviting. All of them together are calculated in your family size. Even if you have invited someone in the past or sponsored someone in the past, those people are counted in the family size as well. So looking at the income requirement for the family size, depending on the number of people you have in the family. For me, again, I gave you the example of spouse, me, a kid, and 2 parents, 5 people. So I should have this amount that is for the previous 3 years, 55,694 for 2021, 72 for 935 for 2022, and 2023 should be more than 75,000. This is a must. It cannot be less than any of the amounts that I mentioned. Again, the family size is something you have to calculate, and be very careful of what your family size is. If you calculate it wrong or you don't add the people you have invited before, the family size would be wrong, and your income, if it doesn't meet the criteria, then obviously you don't meet the eligibility as well. So this was the eligibility criteria for parents and grandparents sponsorship program. Now moving on to the most important part, that is the application process. The application process is where it all gets interesting. Now, SuperVisa gives you the liberty to apply for this program or this stream whenever you want, during or throughout the year, without any problem, as long as you meet the income requirement and you can write a letter of invitation for your parents, giving them the financial support, promising them basically, and also making sure that they leave after their stay. You have to convince the officer that they are coming here for temporary reasons. But again, the liberty is you can apply anytime you want to. You have to get the health insurance, you have to write a letter of invitation, and also the supporting documents which are required. But for PGP, now if we look at the history, again, things can change, but what has been happening from 2020 It's like a lottery system. So what happened in 2020, if you have seen my previous videos, you will know what I'm talking about. So in 2020, they opened up a window and a time frame for people to send their interest for those people who want to invite their parents here in Canada permanently. Again, it depends on the income as well of the people inviting. And each year, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024, IRCC has been drawing out the names from the same pool that was started in 2020. I hope and I believe the things would be different, but I can be wrong. Would be a new pool this year or this time around. But what they have been doing is using that same pool and drawing the people out. The number invited is different each year. So the wait time right now for the 2025 has already started, because a lot of people who were not able to make it in the previous 3 or 4 years, or who were not eligible at that time, who consider themselves eligible now, are really waiting for the next year's program. So this is one of the biggest thing with the PGP. You write a sponsor interest to sponsor your parents, and then with the lottery, your name gets picked or not. That totally depends on IRCC, because those are random draws. No one has information how IRC picks those names. So it's a lottery system. It totally depends on your luck when your name gets selected, the same year, the next year, or the year after. You have to be really, really patient with this process. Whereas in SuperVisa, you can apply anytime you want to. That is the liberty and freedom that comes with the SuperVisa. Whereas PGP, you are riding on your luck. The question is, what is the status that is granted to your parents? Now, if they come through the SuperVisa process, as I said, it's a temporary residence, so obviously they would not be eligible to work or study in Canada, but they have the liberty to stay here for at least, or a maximum in fact, of 5 years at a time. Whereas on the other side, the PGP program that gives your parents the PR status right off the bat, so they are permanent residents. They can enjoy the health insurance of different provinces they come into, and also they have the freedom to work or study if they want in Canada as a PR. So those are the advantages of becoming a PR candidate or PR applicant when applying through the PGP application. That's the reason people want to apply for the permanent residence. And health insurance obviously kind of costs a lot when you're applying through SuperVisa. They want to avoid that too. So one of the major difference, or the biggest difference between the two visas, is that temporary residence in SuperVisa and permanent residence in PGP, you get the health insurance, you can study, work, and enjoy other social benefits being a PR, whereas on temporary residence, you are not allowed to work or study. You only enjoy the status of visiting Canada. That is huge when it comes to the difference between the two. What about the wait times when it comes to applications of PGP and SuperVisa? Now, PGP application, as I said, is a draw, it's a lottery. No one knows the exact time frame, but once you have submitted your application, so let's say your name gets drawn, you apply for the parents and grandparents sponsorship program, the current wait time or the processing time of these kind of applications is 2 years. So think about it. If you applied for interest to sponsor in 2020 and your name was drawn in 2021, so 1 year there and then 2 extra years, so the waiting time was 3 years. But again, depends on when you applied, when your name was drawn. So it's tough to say the wait time for PGP, but the processing time at least is 2 years for sure. And when it comes to SuperVisa, it's different for each country, ranging about 2 to 3 months or less, again, which depends on which country you're from. If I have to give a rough example, so for Pakistan, it takes up to 125 days. For India, it takes 121. For Bangladesh, it's 76 days, and Philippines, 114 days. Again, it varies case to case and varies from country to country. Sometimes the application is super fast compared to what processing time is given on the website. Sometimes it can be similar or even more than what's written on the website. As you can see on the screen, when you're applying online for the SuperVisa application, it is just the visitor visa fee that is $100 each person, along with the biometrics, which is $85. And when you're applying for parents and grandparents sponsorship, that comes with the higher cost. Now, for the sponsorship fee, it is $85, and the processing fee is $545 for each individual. Similarly, the right of permanent residence fee, that is the RPRF, that is $575 right now. So these fees, along with, again, biometrics, $85 each person, are the fees associated with this program. So when you're applying for SuperVisa, you're not paying much. The risk or the stakes are lower. But when you are applying for PGP, obviously you are looking for the permanent resident status. You're looking for all the benefits of a PR. So obviously it comes on a higher cost. But not the least, let's summarize the comparison between the two. Accessibility, typical wait time, status granted, maximum length of stay, as you can see on the screen. I expressed all this information in detail. Hopefully you were able to learn the differences between the two programs. And if you still have questions, reach out to me on my Instagram or send a message or a comment in this video so I can answer it for you. Reach out for a paid consultation if you would like. I'll be more than happy to assist. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, do that right now so you don't miss out on any of the videos that I post. And if you have any other topic in your mind that you would like me to make a video on, please share with me so I can make a video on that topic as well and help you guys as much as I can. So this is me signing off. Hopefully you like something in this video. Give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to share with your friends and family if you like this video. And you guys have a great day, and hopefully if you're looking forward to invite your parents here to Canada, you get the best out of the application results when you apply for one. Have a great day.